All right, we're back. This is Chocolate Fever. Mm, We are on chapter 12, a lesson or the lesson learned. Hey, sleepyhead, said Mrs. Green, shaking Henry's shoulder ever so gently. Are you going to sleep forever? Henry stretched and yawned, smiling at his mother. It was good to be back in his own bed. Good to be where he belonged. It was Sunday, and in the Green household, in fact, it was Sunday all over the world. And in the dining room, all the Greens were having a late and lazy breakfast. If you can shake a leg just a little, Mrs. Green went on, I think we might be able to manage to have some pancakes ready for you, dear. Just the way you like 'em. Henry hopped out of bed. He felt wonderful this morning, the way he always used to feel. He brushed his teeth carefully and paused on his way to the breakfast table, only to make a huge ugly faces at himself in the mirror. Like you ever do that to yourself? He brushed his, let's see, with all those big brown spots gone forever, he hoped. He didn't look half bad, except when he crossed his eyes. There was a big greeting for Henry when he sat down at the table. Elizabeth, who was wearing her special blue dressing gown, even kissed him, and Mark stopped eating long enough to stick out his hand and ruffle Henry's hair. There's a lot of news for you today, Henry, Daddy Green said as Henry was drinking his orange juice. The company that makes all those candy bars sent me a letter. They want to give you some kind of award for helping to foil that hijacking. Really, Dad? Said Elizabeth. That's super. Yes, indeed, Henry's dad went on. It surely is. And Mac called just a few minutes ago, wanted to know if we could go over to his house tomorrow and have dinner with his family. Could we, Dad? Said Henry. Gee, that's swell. Right on. We certainly can. And Nurse Molly Farthing is dropping by this afternoon just to say hello, and there's even more news. My goodness, said Mrs. Green on her way to the table with Henry's pancakes. Everything seems to happen at once to our Henry. Dr. Fargo wants to see you after school on Monday. Do I have to? Said Henry. Yes, you have to, Daddy Green said. Okay, said Henry, although he didn't like it. He's a good doctor, dear, Henry's mother said, and if you like, I'll go with you. Now here's your pancakes, she said as she placed a steaming stack before Henry. And for a special treat, just this once, I have your favorite chocolate syrup. Henry's face lit up. His hand shot out and took hold of the syrup pitcher. But just as he was about to pour sweet brown mixture over his pancakes, he changed his mind. You know what, Mom? Just this once, I think I'll skip it. Plain old maple syrup will do. The family stared at Henry as well they might. It was the first time they had ever seen Henry turn away from anything that had to do with chocolate. But after what he's been through, wouldn't you? His father's smile was as wide as a river. Enid, he said, I think our little one is growing up fast. Henry was into his pancakes now, and they were quickly disappearing. The syrup was good and mapley. The pancakes had a delicious wheat flavor, and washed down with cold milk, it was extra good. But still, something was missing. Some taste, some kind of spark that would make it even better. There was a small can of cinnamon on the table with Elizabeth sometimes used on her toast. Henry wondered if how cinnamon would taste on what was left of his stack of pancakes. He reached out for the canister and sprinkled just a bit of cinnamon on his plate. Then he tasted it. Henry said. That's pretty good. In fact, it's very good. I wonder how cinnamon would be on cereal. Like oatmeal, maybe, or cream of wheat, or maybe cinnamon would be good on other things. Ice cream, or French toast, or maybe even cinnamon milk. And then Henry had still another thought. Could you even have too much cinnamon? Could a person overdo it? And was there such a thing as cinnamon fever? What do you think? All right. have some questions in the back.